Oh, hello, hello. Yes, I am. I think I'm live. I'm just double checking as always. Oh, yes, I am live to Janome, Canada. Am I live to Janome, America? Yes, fabulous. That just took a second. I was getting panicked. Lovely. Hello. I love when people are joining in to say, yes, you're all good. Okay, fantastic. As always, I just have to double check that my volume is good. And yes, I am back here live at the Janome Sewing Machines Facebook page, Janome Canada Facebook page, Janome HQ YouTube, our Janome Canada YouTube channel, and Janome America YouTube as well. Oh, and my sister is here right away. Love it. Thank you so much. It is so wonderful to see you all again for another, I hope, fabulous live, so we can share more of the Janome love and get more from our machines. As always, I've got so much to share with you today. We are National Embroidery Month, winding down a little bit, but there's still so much we can do with our Janome embroidery machines. Specifically, today, what I'm going to share with you would actually be projects where we could do both embroider and sew. So yes, hello everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. My name is Michael Smith, the National Education Manager of Janome Canada, and I'm back live from my very cold palatial estate here in Collingwood, Ontario, Canada. Again, I'm about 2 hours north of Toronto, and oh boy, I just don't know when all this snow is gonna melt. But again, as I always say, let's just stay inside and sew. So let me flip around here to share with you all some more tips and tricks with our fabulous Janome embroidery machines and what we can do more with them. Now here I'm on the Memory Craft 550E. This is basically the same machine as the Memory Craft 550E LE limited edition, with the exception of here, the original 550E, do you see right next to the USB port is a little port that was the direct connect cable port, that there was a cable included with the 550E that we could plug in the cable here into our computer and transfer designs. Well, now the 550E LE does not have that port. It just has the USB port. Other than that, the physical machine is the same. Now, 550E LE comes with a USB stick with, I believe it's 30 additional designs. And then it also has the fabulous AccuStitch software. So, but the machines themselves, 550E and 550E LE, are basically the same. Hello, Catherine is from Edmonton, Alberta. I bet it is very cold there too. Yeah, so hello everyone. So yes, here we are on the 550E, and specifically what I'm going to share with you, I thought some cute little projects that we could make. Typically when we're embroidering, and we would think of like this beautiful heart, for example, that I created the other week for Valentine's Day, a free download from Janome, Australia. That beautiful heart. Look how intricate that stitching is. So cute. So typically we're embroidering our fabric with a design, and then we're going to do something with that design. Here's a design built into the CM17 with all that beautiful metallic thread. And typically we would stitch this again on a sweatshirt, on a tote bag, maybe on a blouse, on a garment, something like that. But instead, how about we embroider our fabric and then we cut it up? So for example, I love doing this with quilting. We quilt our fabric and then we cut it up to make garments or a tote bag. How about this? I did all this beautiful stitching in the embroidery machine and then cut it up and made this little zippy pouch. Or how about this? Again, another beautifully stitched in the embroidery machine. All the fabric was embellished first, and then it was cut up. And already the fabric here, it already has a lot of print to it, but with all this decorative thread, it really changes the character of the fabric. and then was cut up again to make this cute little, again, zipper pouch, all lined. Everything was beautiful. So again, we can embroider our fabric, and then we can make little projects of it. So this cute little, I thought it was cute. This is actually, and this little button here, my sister may, care about this. And far as my mother gave me this button, this is something that we had, since I was a kid. She had that big button jar that she gave me years ago. So I salvaged that little button, Lord knows where it came from, and just had a little loop here to close this. And what I did, this is this little portable tissue package. This is how they come from the store, like this, and it's kind of cute in itself, little travel tissues. But I thought, oh no, I could do something better. So with my fabulous Janome embroidery machine, I embroidered the fabric and then sewed it together, and I lined it to make it all nice. And again here, embroider these little pockets. And all I did was just take this little portable tissue packet, and I just measured it to make basically a more decorative one. So I could take the tissues out if I wanted to and just put them in this little pocket, fold up my own larger tissues and tuck them in there. Ultimately, this could make a cute little wallet that's about the size of a credit card. So you could have a couple of credit cards in there, whichever. And just thought it was kind of cute. So it was, again, embroider your fabric, then cut it up to make this little tissue cover. And again, all I did was just measure. Again, I get so many of these because I'm always traveling and I always feel I have a runny nose, particularly on the airplane. So again, then you just measure your little tissue case here, and it makes it so easy. So there, we can embroider our fabric and then cut it up. Super simple to do. So where did I get this, you may ask? Well, in our fabulous Janome, let's wake it up here, our fabulous Janome 550E, 550 ELE specifically, and as well machines like CM17, for example. We have these wonderful Sashiko, they are called Sashiko designs. So here in the 550E and 550 ELE, would love a video for the sewing machine series 1522 PG. Oh, very good to know that we could totally do that down the road. AccuStitch software is, at this point, AccuStitch is only for the Windows-based computers. I don't know if one day it'll be workable with Macs, but if you have a Mac, you can run a program to separate your hard drive, so you can run Windows and Mac operating systems. Or many of our Mac owners tell us they just get an inexpensive laptop to run their Windows-based program. So yes, the AccuStitch is for Windows-based computers. So here again, in 550E, 550 ELE, we can search designs. Let's go back to the beginning. Search designs here with our little flower. The ABC is fonts, and the little grid here is our editing screen. So if I go into design, now we can scroll through with the little flower icon and into the various categories of designs here. And we can scroll through and see, oh, there's a whole category called Sashiko or Sashiko. I generally say Sashiko, but some pronounce it Sashiko. I think it's maybe Sashiko, but either way, we go into this beautiful category, and there are 3 different designs here. Boom. 3 different designs, if you can see, which are all for this giant RE36B hoop that came with the 550E and 550 ELE. That is 7.9 across by 11.2 in length. Nice big hoop. Look at that. So these designs, there is one Sashiko design or Sashiko design. Here is another, look how intricate that is. And I love when people ask, oh, what thread did you do that with? That looks such a big buildup of thread. It's just regular thread, but because of the digitizing, it goes back and forth a couple of times. So it looks really dense. Here was the Sashiko that was on my screen there, where there's three different colors, or you can combine all these colors with the editing capabilities of your machine. You don't have to separate the colors. You can instead do them all one color, as I just did. As I just did here. I didn't want to have to change my thread. I just combined all my colors and then easily stitched it out. It's a lot faster that way. So here with our fabulous Sashiko designs, they are so fun. And then here is the backside, and it actually looks quite cool. Even this side, the backside, it looks very beautiful. So that is the fun thing with your Sashiko designs. And then you could get from a from other websites, you can get other Sashiko designs. Of course, if you've got Artistic Digitizer, then you have more. You can even create your own. So here, when we go to combine, just to show you, here is that design where I have three separate colors. It says three separate colors here. And I think it was last week when I said about sorting by color. To advance by color, I would just hit, if I wanted to go to color number 2, for example, I would just hit my big cursor button down here. And again, my carriage is moving. My hoop, if it were attached, is then moving to color number 2. Now I want to jump to color number 3. I just click, and then there, again, my carriage is moving. So then that little crosshairs represents, again, color number 3. So to jump ahead by color is very easy just through our big cursor buttons here. But again, to combine these colors, we can go into our editing screen here and scroll through. And if we wanted to combine colors, if we had multiples, if I was able to copy and paste this design, for example, this little icon, which is now grayed out, has 2 spools of thread in different colors. So then I could combine the colors so it's not stopping after every red, for example, is stitching out. Then it would jump to the next red that's stitching out and the next design with red to stitch out. So it would go in sequence to combine all those colors. In this case, I don't have that option because I just have that one design. But then this little icon here is this colorful flower, and then the larger flower in front of it is just all white. So what I'm going to do here is sew all layers without stopping to change colors. So then I click OK. So still on my LCD screen, it says, hey, you've got 3 colors there. But instead of me stopping, again, to do 3 distinct colors, by selecting that design or by that editing option, again, that's how I was able to stitch all of these out without having to stop and press start again. It just stitched until it was finished. So there was my beautiful, again, Sashiko designs. I've got some more again here. It looks so cool. So those were built into the 550E, 550E LE. So that's where I got this and this design. And that's the other parts of it. When you cut up your fabric like this, you save everything. So I decided to, here is my base fabric. That's all beautiful. That's fine. But just, oh no, doesn't this look more exciting? If you want to make your quilt blocks, here's a standard 4-patch, but to make my quilt blocks look a little more special, look at this. Then it can totally transform your fabric. So instead of that plain fabric, I mean, that looks fine, but then, ooh, doesn't that look better? Isn't that more dynamic? Isn't that more unique? So I embroidered all this fabric, and then this is a 6-inch square in this case. And then, you know, same with this. Then this is a 6-inch square of all that Sashiko embroidered fabric. Isn't that cool? And I just used the tearaway stabilizer on the back, and I didn't worry about, obviously, I'm not going to remove this tearaway stabilizer from all of that. So I just left it in there, cut it up as normal. I can layer this quilt block over batting. I can do all my quilting as I want. I could stitch through this, maybe with a very fine thread. Yesterday, if you joined me and I talked about thread and I mentioned an 80 weight thread or a 100 weight thread, really fine thread, I could quilt through this block with that 80 weight or 100 weight thread and you wouldn't even see it. Or when I go to quilt this, maybe I'm going to follow down one of these lines of my stitching here. So then it would just blend right into this design. I don't have to quilt it very densely, just maybe a little cross hatch, you know, here and here and here, just to anchor it. And then I could do free motion quilting or whatever in here. So I just thought that was really cool. So there, to make your quilt blocks a little more special. This could be, again, for a quilt or a tote bag, a throw, you know, whatever. So really, really fun to do. So that would be a project. Or remember, if you were with me several weeks ago, I think this was even in December, wasn't it? It's all a blur now, maybe in January, where I did this circular sewing attachment. I made a trivet for the table, circular sewing attachment with decorative stitches. Well, how about doing, this could be, we're going to embroider our fabric, and then that could be the trivet, and then cut around it, and there is your trivet. Instead of using decorative stitches, you use your embroidered fabric to make your trivet. So you can scroll back to the various lives here in Janome Sewing Machines, Janome Canada Facebook, scroll back to the lives or under the videos tab, the media tab. You can even search by my name of Michael Smith and find all the presentations I've done to go back to review that presentation. So that would be a good use for it. Or again, flying geese blocks. A lot of us make flying geese blocks just as half square triangles. So again, here is my triangle sewn together like that to make one unit. And again, I did this cute little Christmas drying mat for your dishes, again, just before Christmas or just right after Christmas. And I talked all about half square triangles, how to make half square triangles and all of that. So you can review that presentation. But there, I just cut up my fabric. Again, I think it was about a 6-inch square. Cut up my fabric, sewed it together, again, right sides together, made my 1/4 of an inch seam there on my sewing machine. And then I sewed the two of them, just did a quick 1/4 of an inch seam, again, on your sewing machine. And you'll see how everything pressed so beautifully. The seam allowances press out. I ended up opening them here because, again, they do have the tearaway stabilizer in the seam allowance. So I decided to open this seam so it lays a little flatter. But isn't that cool? Does that not make your flying geese block so much more interesting, so much more dynamic? This is where you can get lost in your sewing room all day. So when it's terrible weather outside, doesn't matter, just stay inside and sew. As I always say, I totally want to finish this. I want to make this a beautiful star or something like that. With all of this beautiful, again, Sashiko fabric to make your flying geese units. So when you ultimately cut into your fabric, it looks kind of like Swiss cheese. So here was my beautiful, with that RE36B hoop for my 550E, again, 7.9 by 11.2. So then I just cut up, I decided to, I'm just going to cut this 6-inch square out of this block. And then now maybe on my little cutting mat here, this is where my table ends up so full. On my little cutting mat down here, maybe I'm going to do a small, I had a lot of these leftover fabrics. Again, I save everything. So these are 3.5-inch square. So from my big piece of fabric here, I'm going to cut a 3.5-inch square, and you decide wherever you could try to make it all even, almost like a fussy cut. So then like your little triangles, you know, it's the same number of triangles across your block, or that it's trying to go along this line, for example, of the stitching. You decide really where you want to cut this. I decided, ooh, I don't really have to. I don't really want to waste all this fabric, so I don't really care about centering it at this point. What I'm going to do, ooh, I think this is what I'm going to do. This is where, again, I can just get lost in all of this. I am going to back it off, so I'm going to get those points, those 1/4 inch points. So again, you decide, you cut it however you wish, but just very easily. Oh, this is where you need a bigger table. I don't have a decent sized cutting mat to bring here, but just to show you again that I want to make sure I'm on this, that yes, we just cut around here and cut around here. And again, you just basically make Swiss cheese out of your fabric here, but then you take your block and then it just becomes like a regular piece of fabric that you are going to then take and layer together at your sewing machine. Oh, there, did I cut that all the way through? Perfect. So then, yes, then I just take this. Now I have some basting thread, is where, again, I always baste my fabric down. Now I purposely offset, again, my points, offset 1/4 inch, and out here, they're 1/4 inch. So then when I do my seaming, I'm not going to lose those points. But again, you decide however you want to cut your fabric. So to make, you know, a 4-patch, I would just, you know, sew down this seam and, you know, fold it over like that. Or again, for your flying geese, or for your half square triangle, just a diagonal line, point to point. You sew 1/4 inch on either side. And then there would be your half square triangle. So again, doesn't that just, it jazzes it up. It just makes it a little bit more exciting, more interesting. So you can really have a lot of fun doing all this embroidery and then cutting it up. And then again, you end up with Swiss cheese. But then you don't worry about these little things. Again, I try to use everything. Look at this. This is so gorgeous. I don't want to waste that. So what do I do with it? Well, there, you just cut it, and there, look, the backside is beautiful too. All I did was put a little bit of fray stop, or fray check specifically, along here, along the raw edge. I just, so it avoids the raveling. And then I just did, to secure my stitching, I just did a little stitch, triple stitch on my sewing machine, in the same white thread, so you don't even notice, like just right across the top and down one line of stitching here, right across the bottom, and then up right next to the cut edge. I did another, again, triple stitch on my sewing machine just to prevent further raw edges, you know, raveling. But again, I've left that tearaway stabilizer on the back, so there really shouldn't be a lot of raveling of the fabric. And again, just a little fray stop around the edges. This is a bookmark. Again, so simple, great if the fabric ravels, it doesn't matter. But that's a cute little bookmark. Like, why not? Make use of it. Don't throw that away. Make a bookmark out of it. Or this I used with our, again, fonts built into the machine, either the sewing machine or the embroidery machine. In this case, it was the sewing machine, where I had just this little strip of fabric left over after I cut out my little tissue cover here. I had a little bit of fabric left over. So I just stitched with the beading foot. I couched some yarn with the beading foot. And again, I've demoed those on previous lives. Zigzagged that yarn so it takes care of the raw edges. Stitched Joe, my partner, his name on the sewing machine. And I just put this little, you know, folded the piece of fabric in half after I stitched Joe on it and after I did my zigzag, or actually I think I did my yarn first. Did my name, then I did the yarn, folded it in half, did the yarn, and then just made basically a little ornament for the Christmas tree. Like, it's so simple. This could be a gift tag, something like that. Again, we've got this beautiful fabric already embroidered, so make the most of it. So a cute little gift tag to personalize. This could be a luggage tag, Christmas ornament, anything like that. So again, you're not wasting any of that. Do not waste any of that. You think what you can do with it. It's so beautiful. Now, this is another great project. Again, that same Sashiko stitching, and then, ooh, beautiful metallic thread. Again, yesterday I talked about metallic threads. So go back to review that presentation. Beautiful lined zipper pouch, all made in the embroidery machine. And you can get the full instructions for this zipper pouch from A Bit of Scrap Stuff blog from Melanie Cole. She is a Janome America maker. And where you will find that is you'll find tons of projects, tons of information and inspiration. Now, specifically here to Janome.com, they have their new beautiful website. And if we go to the Create and Learn tab, we can scroll there to all projects. And when it says up at the top, what are you looking for? We can just type in zipper pouch, and then zipper pouch, enter, there we go. Oh no, that's not what I want. I want in the Create and Learn, I want all projects. What are we looking for? Oh, there we go. In this one, this search box, what are we looking for? We want the zipper pouch. Now here in Canada, in Janome Canada, we still have our older website. So you go to the Inspire tab, all projects, type in zipper pouch and scroll down. And there it is, large embroidered zipper pouch, view project details. There we go. And you can download the project, all written instructions how to do. Look at these cute little projects that you could do. So much there on the Janome.com website. Or again, Janome Canada, we go to the Inspire tab, and then we hit all projects. And same thing, find a project. We would type in zipper pouch. And then just scroll over till there we go. We find it. Now, eventually, Janome Canada, we're going to get the same website as Janome America. Ours is just taking longer. So there we go. Full instructions. So perfect. So lots of inspiration on Janome.com, Janome.ca. But also, when we're on Janome.com or Janome.ca, we can go to the Accessories tab. And then under Additional Accessories, and then again, what are we looking for? We can type in, oh, I think, was it ruler? And see what we get. Or did I type it under embroidery? I have to remember what I searched under. I think it was ruler. It was ruler, yes. So in the search box, we type in ruler, and look what comes up, several things. But this beautiful high definition ruler work quilting. So if you have these Sashiko designs built into your machine, like the 550E, 550ELE, wonderful. But if you don't have that machine, available from your fabulous Janome dealer is this high definition ruler work quilting kit. It has a USB stick with 85 designs. And look, they will fit into a 4-inch hoop, a 6-inch hoop, an 8-inch hoop, and a 10-inch hoop. Now, there are some that are specifically for the giant RE46D hoop of the CM17, but look at these gorgeous ruler work designs that will stitch out in your embroidery machine. So I thought these would be so cool. Again, and they also have again, like your printed templates here, that these would be so cool. Imagine your fabric, again, all embroidered with these flowers, and then you cut it up and make something out of it. So with that high definition ruler work kit, this is one of those. Again, I could do this with a ruler in the Janome, ruler kit, or I can just stitch it out in my embroidery machine. So here is for the 5.5 by 5.5 hoop, for example. So even like a Skyline S9 or a 9850 could do this. Where do I find the ruler work kit? Oh, I just explained that you go on janome.com or janome.ca, you go to the accessories tab, and you can type in ruler work, and this will come up. You could probably type even embroidery, since this ruler work is all done with the embroidery hoop. You could type in embroidery, and this would come up. These are the same designs, but you see how this one is a little bigger than this one. So it's for the 5.5 by 5.5 hoop. And with the editing capabilities of my machine, I just made this one a little bigger. So this could be my quilt block. This could be my, regular block for like my 4-patch, for example. Or again, I could decide to put another piece of fabric on top and make this like a half square triangle, and then see, and especially if you do like the half square triangle where you do the diagonal line and 1/4 of an inch on either side, you end up with 2. So you'd have a half square triangle down here, and you'd end up with a, half square, ooh, I'm all thumbs, half square triangle here. So again, you just embellish your fabric and just make it really cool, really unique. So that is the HD, the high definition embroidery ruler work kit. Again, it comes with a USB stick, and I will just quickly go and show you here that once you have it in your machine, I created a whole new folder. And again, there are some designs specifically for the CM17 that are not going to show up here in my 550E, but just look at how gorgeous these are. Just so beautiful that we could embellish our fabric. How about this? And I love it too, because it totally sorts it by hoop size. So for my SQ20B 7.9 by 7.9, here is this beautiful fabric. And again, I could choose to beautiful ruler work design, and I can choose to cut it up, which I'm going to create something totally new and unique. And there we go. I just want to safely, with my 4-inch mini duckbill scissors, safely remove that thread. So all of this beautiful design, ruler work design, that's the same as they have on the cover here, is again the high definition ruler work embroidery kit. You get the USB stick for your embroidery machine, and again, it fits all different hoop sizes. So many things you can do. Now, this design actually came on my Memory Craft 15,000, but what I did using the editing capabilities of the machine, I was able to blow this up and shrink it and mirror image it. So it looks like, and all over here is the actual design, but I duplicated it and flipped it and created where I embellished all my fabric first. Then I can now cut this up into smaller blocks, or again, this could be my zipper pouch, just like that. How simple that would be, zipper pouch, but it's embellishing the fabric first. So regardless of what embroidery machine you have, and again, yes, love the circles. Again, this came from my 15,000. So whatever machine that you have, there is something you can do with it. Here are the designs. If you have a 550 ELE limited edition machine, you got a bonus USB stick. And here we go. This is more like another Sashiko design. You could totally cut this up After you embroider your fabric, cut it up into quilt blocks, make a little zipper pouch out of it. Here is another Sashiko design, again on the 550 ELE with the USB stick. So much. Again, when would we use these designs? That's what I think automatically. I think, oh, I could make quilt blocks out of this. I could embellish my fabric and then make a tote bag. Again, my little zipper pouch. So many different things we could do. Even a design like this, I think would be so cool. Again, just even fold it in half or fold it in half the other way to make like a zipper pouch or something out of that. Like, wouldn't that be cool? Or how about even, again, these are all bonus designs from the 550 ELE. So even this, I could, again, cut it up. I could make half square triangles out of it. Or again, what a beautiful zipper pouch this would be if you embellish the fabric first, stitch out the fabric, and then you just fold it in half, you add a zipper. You could totally get the instructions on the zipper pouch here, even if you don't embroider your fabric with this Sashiko design, you have all the instructions here. Again, a free pattern from Janome.com or Janome.ca in the All Projects tab. So lots of inspiration you have at your fingertips, at your Janome machine. So again, to embroider our fabric first and then cut it up into various projects. So many cute little simple ideas. Your cute little luggage tag or whatever. It's so cute. So, as usual, look how gorgeous that is. It has 2 minutes left, but again, I'm already over my time, but isn't that beautiful? So what am I going to do with that? Oh, I'm not sure. You'll just have to come back and see in another live what I actually do with all of this, because I love that there's no shortage of inspiration. Time is my enemy. So the ideas are there, either built into your machine with designs that you use, or again, additional designs like from this ruler work kit. Automatically, I thought, oh, I could embellish my fabric here with these beautiful designs and then again cut them up and make various projects. So the sky is the limit. You've got all those resources at your fingertips 24/7. So thank you everyone so much for joining me. Stay warm and I'll see you all next week. Bye.